able to join this meeting. So I just give you introduction of Sara sir. Sara sir is a professor in the SAL education. He completed his BE Mechanical from LC Institute of Technology, Bandu, Gujarat in 2011. And he is master in International Combustion Engine and Automobile from LC Institute of Technology, Bandu, Gujarat in 2014. His area of interest is heat transfer, automobile engine, automobile system, heat exchanger design, data science, fluid mechanism, special purpose vehicles, vehicle testing and homologation, engine technology, refrigeration and air conditioning. He has a more than 7-year teaching experience and published more than 4 research paper in international and national journal and conference as well. So I request to Sara sir, please give some your inputs about the concept of electric vehicle. And on behalf of the Vignan Gujri team, I thankful to you to give us the opportunity for the lectures. Thank you, sir. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So I welcome you all to the session of concept of electric vehicle. So the session contains the outline which I will cover brief history and necessity of electric vehicle, current scenario including government policy and some statistics related to electric vehicle, then basic working principle, main component and layout of electric vehicle, future and challenges related to electric vehicle, and I will demonstrate one modern electric car through its specification related to electric vehicle. Okay, so the session is divided in 2 parts. So first part will carry brief history, necessity of electric vehicle and current scenario of electric vehicle, and second part that cover working of electric vehicle, their basic working principle, main components, layout of electric vehicle, challenges and demonstration of modern electric cars. So I will give you brief history about the electric vehicle. So electric cars were prevalent in early 20th century when electrical energy was preferred in automobile propulsion. France, UK, Germany were the prominent country to support and development of electric vehicle. German engineer has built their first real electric car in 1888. Then in 1904, Siemens has demonstrated their electric car. Then General Motors, Detroit and Tesla have demonstrated their electric cars. But electric car doesn't find enough interest because in counterweight, the advances in IC engine, the discovery of crude oil also find attention for people as a transport vehicle. So advances in IC engine, mass production of IC engine, because reduce the price of IC engine, have find the attention IC engine as the transport, as the passenger vehicle power plant, and it is still in demand to the early 21st century. So but from last few decades, energy crisis and severe environmental problem again find the attention for a good candidate to passenger vehicle. Okay, so electric vehicle again finds attention as a good candidate for passenger vehicle or the passenger transportation because of energy crisis, particularly crude crisis and severe environmental problems. Okay, so IC engine, the air pollution which includes the nitrogen oxide, NOx emission, carbon monoxide emission, HC emission, and other pollutants. Other pollutant includes the sulfur dioxide emission, particulate matter emission, lead emission, etc. So these emissions are directly or indirectly related to the environmental problem and global warming effect. Okay. So the global warming gases, CO2, CH4, water vapor, NOx emission, chlorofluorocarbon are responsible for the greenhouse gases. So these gases increases the earth temperature by absorbing the incident solar radiation, and the carbon dioxide has the maximum share to absorb the solar radiation energy. Okay, so this picture depicts the effect of greenhouse gases, and above picture depicts the emission from the tailpipe of IC engine. Okay, so you can see what is the emission emitting from the tailpipe of IC engine, and the second picture depicts the greenhouse gases. So particularly greenhouse gases is the gases which are present in the troposphere or the lower layer of the atmosphere, which are responsible for many activity like the uneven rainfall, then after storms, ice storms, etc. And which are because of that the environmental get deteriorated. Also the petroleum resources are limited. The country like India, which importing around 90 to 95 crude oil from other country. So the petroleum resources, to reduce the utility of petroleum resources and to reduce the dependency on petroleum resources, also get benefited to the country like India. Okay, these are the reasons. Environmental problem and the petroleum energy resources are the responsible for electric vehicle. Now, the number of vehicles which are registered by the emission norms. So in India, the Bharat stage is the emission norm which are calculated for vehicle. So emission norms is known as the Bharat stage. So India have derived the Bharat stage 1, Bharat stage 2, Bharat stage 3, Bharat stage 4, and Bharat stage 6. Okay, so particularly Bharat stage 4 has the 5.4 crore vehicle. Bharat stage 3 have 2.02 crore vehicle. Bharat stage 6 has 1.48 crore vehicle. Bharat stage 2 has 1.2 crore vehicle, and Bharat stage 1 has 0.72 crore vehicle. Among these norms, Bharat stage 6 was latestly implemented in April 2020. Okay, up to now, 1.4 crore vehicles are registered under the Bharat stage 4, and that share has around 14%. Okay, but the majority share of the vehicles are Bharat stage 4. That covers the around 5.4 crore vehicle under that, and that is the 52%. And remaining Bharat stage 1, 2, and 3 are still present. So that share is 90%, 12%, and 3% respectively. So these are the major emission emitter and responsible for the high emission rate. BS Bharat stage 4 and Bharat stage 6 emission norm. So here in this table, the emission norms have compared for the two-wheeler and four-wheeler. So particularly for two-wheeler, spark ignition engine of all category L1, L2, and L3 has the maximum limit to emit the carbon monoxide emission. BS6 is around 1000 mg per kilometer, and same thing in BS4 was 1403 to 1970. So you can see in BS6 how much reduction is there. Same thing, the NOx emission for the BS6 is around 60 milligram per kilometer. Emission for BS4 is around 390 to 200. Okay, so this is the main constituents which have reduced in BS4 majorly. So you can see how much percentage is reduced in BS6 emission. Okay, and this is the main constituent which is responsible for greenhouse gases as well as acid rain, etc., which also affect the human health. Okay, so these constituents have reduced so much. Then HC have not been shown for the two-wheeler because it is measured in with evaporative emission, so it is not included here. For four-wheeler, spark ignition engine, M category. So M category belong to the vehicle which has the four-wheel and passenger transport vehicle. Mainly our cars comes under the M category. M1, M2, M3 based on their weight criteria. The spark four-wheelers in M category has CO emission limit under the BS6 emission 1000 milligram per kilometer, and CO emission under the BS4 category 1000 to 1760 milligram per kilometer. NOx emission under the BS6 emission norms 60 mg per kilometer is limit, and NOx emission for BS under the BS4 80 to 110 milligram per kilometer is the maximum limit. Then HC is the unburned hydrocarbon, which is under the BS6 category 100 mg per kilometer, and HC under the BS4 emission norms 100 to 160 mg per kg. Okay. Likewise, four-wheeler compression ignition, particularly diesel fuel vehicle, M category has the lower CO emission compared with the petrol, and that is 500 mg per kilometer for the BS6 and 500 to 740 milligram per kg for BS4. Likewise, the diesel has the higher emission compared to the petrol. So the NOx emission of diesel is quite higher compared to the petrol engine. So NOx emission under the BS6 is 80 milligram per kilometer, and NOx emission under the BS4 250 to 390 milligram per kg. Here for diesel, the NOx is in HC unburned hydrocarbon in diesel is measured with the NOx emission together, so here it was not included. Likewise, spark ignition engine for N1 category, which is belong to the four-wheel vehicle and which has the good carrying capacity. Okay, so it has the same limit for the M category, but a NOx limit is quite different. So NOx emission also has the same limit, and HC limit is also same. So likewise, this is the emission norms comparison between BS4 and BS6. But the limitation regarding to the emission norms, we cannot eliminate the emission. We cannot reduce, we can only reduce the emission, because the basic theoretical combustion equation suggests that by the reacting of fuel with oxygen will release the heat, carbon dioxide with vapor, and also NOx, because of atmospheric air contains the NOx emission. Atmospheric air contains the nitrogen. Okay, so therefore in IC engine, we cannot eliminate the emission, or we cannot completely eliminate the emission. We can only reduce the emission. So therefore, we are switching the engine to the electric vehicle because of the environmental degradation problem, which cause the severe effect on our climate. Okay. Now, current scenario of electric vehicle. Now, we will understand government policies. So government has implemented their electric vehicle policy in 2013 under the National Electric Mobility Mission Plan 2020. Briefly, it is called NEMMP, and it was launched in 2013 by the Department of Heavy Industry and NITI Aayog. So the policy have been divided into two categories, that is called FEMA Phase 1 and FEMA Phase 2. So FEMA is the abbreviatives that faster adoption and manufacturing of hybrid and electric vehicles. So FEMA 1 phase deal with, as a part of MEMMPT 2020, the central government of India launched the faster adoption and manufacturing of hybrid and electric vehicle scheme for 2 years in 2015. The scheme still extended till September 2018 and focused on the technology, and the FEMA 1 phase will focus on technology development, demand creation, pilot project, and charging infrastructure. So ultimately, the concept behind the FEMA 1 is to create the technological development, demand creation, to run the pilot project related to electric vehicle, and to design the charging infrastructure policies. And then government has launched the FEMA Phase 2, that is launched in 2019 for a period of 3 years. And this scheme gives for upfront incentive on purchase of electric vehicle, as well as supporting the development of charging. So FEMA Phase 2, by the FEMA Phase 2, government are trying to attract the people towards the electric vehicle by giving them subsidies and giving them direct indirect benefits. So this is the government policy related to electric vehicle. So now the policy have been designed by keeping the objective. So first is to reduce the primary oil consumption in transport. So India is the highest importer of the crude oil from the Gulf countries. Okay, so to reduce the crude oil bill, India has reduced the dependency on the. If India want to reduce the dependency on crude oil, then India have to move towards the electric vehicle. Then facilitate customer adoption for electric and clean energy vehicle. Okay, so to attract the customer towards the electric and clean energy vehicle, encourage cutting edge technology in India through adoption, and research and development, improve transportation used by the common man for personal and good transportation, reduce the pollution in cities. So the vehicle densities are more in cities like metro city, mega city. Among that, the two-wheelers are the most in the cities. So that is responsible for deteriorating the air quality index in metro and mega city. So by implementing the electric vehicle, we can reduce the population in cities, and we can improve the air quality index in metro and mega cities. Creating electric vehicle manufacturing capacity that is of global scale and competitiveness. 7, and last, facilitate employment growth in a sunrise sector. Okay, so this is the main objective of the electric vehicle policy. So now let me understand the statistics of some vehicle by their fuel category. So in India, around 26 crore 93 lakh 92,910 vehicles are registered up to March 2021. Among that, only 81.77% are petrol vehicle. And among that petrol vehicle, around 73% are two-wheelers. Okay, so India has the most population of two-wheelers. Then diesel vehicle have around 40% share in total vehicles. Petrol CNG has very little share, around 1.36%. Petrol and LPG has around 0.66% share. Other vehicle like methanol, ethanol fuel has only 0.63% share. Electric vehicle, which is operated by the battery, the number of vehicles are registered under the Road and Transport Office of India, 6,77,699, and the share among the all vehicle is around 0.25, and which is very much lesser. Only CNG vehicles are there, petrol hybrid vehicles, diesel hybrid, LPG, only LPG fueled vehicle and solar vehicle is there. So the electric vehicle is stand at the 0.25% share in India. So you can see the share of petrol vehicle, which are around 80% cover, which cover 81.77% share, and which include the most two-wheeler and economic passenger car, which are responsible for high pollution in metro and mega city, because metro and mega cities, their density make the more pollution. Now let me see the growth in electric vehicle registration. Okay, so in 2014 and from 2014 to 15, around 2,387 vehicles were registered. In 2015 to 16, 17,981 electric vehicles are registered. In 2016 to 17, 56,564 vehicles are registered, and up to 2019, 1,68,313 vehicles are registered under the RTO office. So this shows the interest of people towards the electric vehicle, and that is increasing year by year. But in 2020-21, the registration is quite lesser compared to the previous year, and it is around 1,34,826. So now let me compare the electric and IC engine vehicle. So in IC engine powered vehicle, two-wheelers are the 79% of the total vehicles, and which are mostly operated in metro and mega cities, and which are responsible for the deteriorating the air quality index of metro and mega cities. Also, buses and goods vehicles like trucks are 3% of the 3% of the total operated in highways. So it is not responsible much for the city pollution. The economic four-wheeler, which has costing less than 1 million, is around 12% of the total number of vehicles. Okay, so you can see the figures of IC engine vehicles. Now, what is the scenario of electric vehicles? So electric vehicle sales in India stood at 3.8 lakhs unit in 2019 to 2020. Among that, low and medium speed vehicle, particularly two-wheelers, up to the 4 km/h speed with a conventional lead acid battery, were dominating the market. In the base case scenario, the electric vehicle is expected to grow at a CAGR of 44% between the 2020 to 2027, according to the organization India Energy Storage Alliance. Okay, so this is the scenario of electric vehicle and what is the necessity of electric vehicle. Okay, so in 1997, around 157 countries are signed MOU to reduce the CO2 emission, and that is known as the Geneva or a Kyoto Protocol. And under that, India is trying to reduce their CO2 emission. Okay, and therefore India has implemented this scheme. Now, what is the working principle of the electric vehicle? So simply, electric vehicle uses an electric motor for traction and chemical batteries, fuel cell and ultra capacitor, and or flywheels for their corresponding energy sources, and utilize electrical energy to propel the vehicle. Here figure block diagram will show you or illustrate the working principle. So electric source supplied electrical energy to the motor, and motor convert that electric energy to the mechanical energy, and that energy passing through the mechanism transfer to the wheel and propel the vehicle. So this is the basic working principle behind the electric vehicle. Let me understand the illustration of general configuration of electric vehicle. So as shown in this diagram, the energy refueling unit or the charging unit will receive energy from the external source, and that energy supplied to the energy storage device, or that is known as the battery. Okay, so the electricity received from the outside source is stored in the energy source, and that is supplied to the electronic power converter, and that power converter converts electric energy DC to AC or AC to DC, vice versa, as per requirement. And then the electric energy is supplied to the electric motor. In motor, that electrical energy is converted into mechanical energy, and that mechanical energy is transferred to the mechanism to achieve the desired speed and torque, and then it is supplied to the wheel, and which is converted into the tractive effort and which propel the vehicle. Some percentage of energy share is also utilized for auxiliary power supply like heating and ventilation, for other utilities like the headlamp, etc. And some energy is utilized for running the power steering, etc. So here this dark black arrow indicates the electrical linkage, so give the flow of electrical energy, and this arrow shows the controller link. So the energy refueling unit, energy management unit, and vehicle control unit are interconnected to each other to control the action of electric vehicle. Vehicle controller unit also control the acceleration and braking system of the electric vehicle. And here light arrow indicating the mechanical linkage that connects the electric motor to the driving wheel through the mechanism. So now, electric vehicle, the main component of electric vehicle. The main component of electric vehicle include the battery, motor, controller, and charging system. Okay, so let me understand first what is motor. Motor is the heart of electric vehicle. It can be the part of propulsion system which propel the vehicle. The electric motor convert the electrical energy into mechanical energy to propel the vehicle, or it can work as the regenerative braking or regenerative electricity for the purpose of charging onboard energy storage. So it also utilizes the braking energy and regenerate the electricity while braking. Also, it converts the electric energy into the mechanical energy to propel the vehicle. And types of motors are BLDC motor, brushless direct current motor, brushed direct current motor, AC induction motor, and permanent magnet synchronous motor. So main these motor is used for the propulsion of electric vehicle. So here the picture depicts the BLDC hub motor, PMS motor, and AC induction motor. BLDC hub motors mostly used in two-wheeler to propel the vehicle. In this, the motor is directly mounted on hub of this rear wheel. Okay, so that is the brushless direct current hub motor. Permanent magnet synchronous motor are used by some car manufacturer like Tata, Tesla, etc. And AC induction motor is used by manufacturer like Mahindra, etc. using AC induction motor. Next part, important part is battery. Battery is an energy storage device which store energy, deliver energy to motor and accept energy from the outside. The requirement of storage battery depends on many parameters such as the specific energy, specific power efficiency, maintenance requirement, cost, management cost, environmental adaptation and friendliness and safety. So battery is nothing but the energy storage device which consists of two positive, negative or cathode anode plate which are separated by the electrolyte. When the external energy or potential energy from the outside source are given to battery, it converts that energy into chemical energy and store inside it while charging. And if when battery is discharging, it convert that chemical energy into electrical energy while discharging. So this is the simple function of battery. Here the figure depicts the battery from the car manufacturer Tata Motor, and the model is Ziptron. The 30.2 kilowatt into hour high density lithium ion battery is shown over here. So main types of battery are lead acid battery, nickel based batteries, and lithium based batteries. So batteries have many types. Lead acid batteries are the conventional batteries which are used in IC engine, UPS, or any power source. Currently, in IC engine, lead acid battery are used to cranking the vehicle, for operating the utilities, etc. Lead acid batteries are used. So symbol for the lead acid battery is PB acid. Their specific energy is 27 to 33 watt into hour per kg, and relative cost per kilowatt per hour is around 1, and the operating temperature of lead acid battery is around 0 to 60 degrees Celsius. Nickel based batteries are nickel cadmium, nickel metal hydrates, nickel ion batteries. So nickel cadmium has the specific energy density 35 to 64 watt into hour per kg, and the relative cost is quite high, around 10 kilowatt per hour compared to the lead acid battery, and their operating temperature is minus 20 degrees Celsius to 60 degrees Celsius. Nickel metal hydride battery has the specific energy density around 51 watt into hour per kg, and it has the relative cost 8 kilowatt per hour, and their operating temperature is minus 20 to 60 degrees Celsius. Likewise, nickel ion battery has the energy density 51 watt into hour per kg, has the relative cost around 8 kilowatt per hour, and operating temperature is around 20 to 60 degree, minus 20 to 60 degree Celsius. Then lithium ion and lithium polymer based battery are one of the important batteries which has the higher energy, specific energy density, and lithium ion polymer battery has the energy density around 90 watt into hour per kg. The relative cost is not mentioned here, and the operating temperature is around minus 20 to 60 degree Celsius. Sodium sulfur has the energy, specific energy density around 79 to 81 watt into hour per kg. Relative cost is around 6.5 kilowatt into kilowatt per hour, and it has the higher operating temperature around 300 to the 380 degree Celsius. Silver zinc has the higher specific energy density, and it is 17 to the 139 watt into hour per kg, which has the higher relative cost to the lead acid battery around 15 kilowatt per hour. And zinc air is the latest technology related to the charging battery, and around it has the higher specific energy among the all batteries, and that is equal to 144 to the 161 watt into hour per kg. The relative cost is around 15 kilowatt per hour, and their operating temperature is minus 20 to 40 degrees Celsius. And controller. So controller is a device which control the electronics. The electric vehicle controller is the electronic package that operates between the batteries and the motor to control the electric vehicle speed and acceleration, and control and manage the whole component as per your requirement. So these are the three main components of the electric vehicle. Sometimes auxiliary batteries or the DC converter batteries are utilized for the provide to power for accessory like headlights, radio, fans, computer, airbags, wiper, power window, etc. So these are the main components of electric vehicle which are used in electric vehicles. So now challenges and futures. So challenges related to the electric vehicle are the battery problem, battery cost, range concern, and price concern. So battery problems are battery require the long charging time compared to the IC engine. In IC engine powered vehicle, fueling require only 1 minute, where in battery operated vehicle the charging require long time. Okay. Then battery weight is quite high compared to the gasoline engine or the IC engine. Around 100 pound lead acid battery is equal to 1 pound of gasoline. So this is the main concern related to the battery operated vehicle. Long charging time as well as the specific energy of battery is quite low. And battery cost. The battery cost is the major concern related to the electric vehicle, and the battery has the higher cost among the vehicle. If you consider 100 to 250 kilowatt per hour lithium based battery, it costs around 42,000 to the 70,000. Okay, so the cost is very high. Is the concern related to the electric vehicle. Range is also range has also concern, because in electric vehicle range around 100 kilometer to 300 or 500 kilometer. After that we have to recharge the battery then and then we can propel the vehicle. Otherwise, our vehicle cannot be propelled more because battery has the limited storage capacity. So range is the main concern related to the electric vehicle and the price. Because of higher battery cost, overall price of the electric vehicle is very high compared to the conventional IC engine. So in future, we have to improve the batteries like lithium polymer battery, zinc air battery, or lithium cobalt battery. Okay, so lithium polymer or the lithium ion battery has the good energies, high energies, high specific energy and high specific power, but it has less cycle, but it has a late cycle cost, etc. Likewise, zinc air batteries, lithium cobalt batteries are the option to improve the battery technology. Then we can also utilize the hydraulic energy. We can utilize the hydraulic energy to propel the vehicle because hydrogen has the higher energy density, around 120 megajoule per kg calorific value of the hydrogen is there. So we can utilize the hydrogen energy to propel the vehicle, but the main concern for hydrogen is to store the hydrogen. Hydrogen requires the large volume to store. Okay, so to reduce the storage, we have to liquidify the hydrogen, and that again increase the cost of hydrogen storage. Also, we can utilize the other storage method like the supercapacitors, flywheels, and energy storage device, etc. Then we can also utilize or exploit the concept of electric and IC engine vehicle, and combining both the concept is known as the hybrid vehicle. So hybrid vehicle utilize partially concept of electric vehicle and partial concept of conventional IC engine vehicle, and by combining together we can also exploit the advantages of both. So hybrid vehicle is also a future option for the passenger transport. Many manufacturers have implemented this technology, and many model like the Ertiga have the hybrid technology. Toyota Prius has also the hybrid technology. Then also we can utilize the solar energy to store the battery recharge the battery and the vehicle. Okay, so the solar energy is also future option to propel the vehicle. So this is the future related to the electric vehicle, in which we can implement this technology to the electric vehicle. So this is a modern electric car. The purpose of the car is to demonstrate the specification of this car. The purpose of this specification is to understand the reality of the electric car and to understand the advanced technology of electric car. Okay, so here Tata Nexon electric vehicle specification I have shown here. It used the motor, permanent magnet synchronous motor, to propel the vehicle, and which has the around 129 PS of power. Electric motor torque is around 245 Newton into meter. This car can drive in, company has provided two driving mode, multi-drive mode, that is drive and sports mode. It has the battery pack around 30.2 kilowatt into hour. High energy density lithium ion battery is fitted in this car. So ultimately we can say that it can exploit 30.2 kilowatt of energy for a hour, or also you can exploit around 3.02 watt of energy for 10 hours. So vice versa, you can utilize the energy from the battery. Okay, if you want to utilize more energy from the battery, the draining of the battery is more. If you utilize the less power from battery, its draining is less. Then thermal management system, liquid system is utilized for their electronic component and battery. It has also increased protection for motor and battery is called IP67. The range is around 312 kilometer with battery only. So it can, with single charge, it can run up to 300 kilometer. It has the acceleration capacity from 0 to 100 kilometer per hour in just 9.9 seconds. It has the charging standard, include the combined charging system, that is S2. It has fitted with the CCS2 charging system, which provide the fast charging as well as economic charging. So estimated regular charging time with 15 ampere plug point is around 8.5 hour, and around for a fast charging, the estimated time is around 60 minutes or 1 hour. So this is the modern electric car, the specification of modern electric. The purpose of this specification is to show the specification is only to give the latest technology which was implemented in recent cars. Okay, so this is the specification related to electric car. Now references where I have taken all the content from. So this is the good book, Ehsani Electric, Modern Electric Hybrid Vehicle, Automobile Electric and Electronic System, Air Pollution Data, Climate Data, Zero Emission from NITI Aayog, Automotive Research Association of India, and M Parivahan. So this is the reference from where I have taken the. So thank you. Thank you for your attention. If doubt, you can ask.
Thank you very much, sir. You are explaining very well about the policy of electric vehicle and the concept of basic of electric vehicle and charging station and all. But I have one question about that, sir. As I study, there is a two kind of the battery charging system applied by the peoples. Like one is the replacement of the battery, and
Yes,
second one is the using the charging station. So
Yes, yes.
which one is the better for in future, to replace battery or using the charging station?
That is depend upon our government policy. If our policy is allowed to make the infrastructure for like the replacement of battery, so we can utilize that advantages. But still in India, we have derived the charging system infrastructure. We have not implemented this policy to replace the battery. Also, in smartphone, we have wireless charging. So if we can implement this type of technology in automobile, we can we can give the revolution to the automobile vehicle.
YK Sharma is here. Can I ask?
Yes, yes.
Myself, YK Sharma, Superintending Engineer, Madhya Gujarat Beach Company Limited. My
Yes,
two questions. How
Yes,
much
sir.
vehicle reduce the pollution considering this nitrogen in the atmosphere? And second, what is the life of electrical vehicle?
Sir, I will give your second question. Life of electrical vehicle is mainly depend upon the battery and motor life. If we can replace the battery and we can maintain the motor, so we can improve their life. And in electric vehicle, there are no any pollution. We are using the clean energy, that is the electrical energy, but the energy received from the thermal power plants, so that will cost more compared to the IC engine, because thermal power plant produces the more pollution compared to the IC engine vehicle. So if we are utilizing energy from the renewable sources, so that will give the more benefit to the environment.
Thank you very much.
Hello,
Anybody
good
have
morning,
question?
sir.
Yes, yes.
Sir, I am from Hyderabad. My name is Bharat and I am from NIT Andhra Pradesh Research Scholar.
Yes,
I have one question, sir.
yes.
How are vehicle emissions calculated, sir?
Our vehicle emissions are calculated based on ARAI standards. That is called Automotive Research Association of India. And in that we have to follow some steps related to that.
Sir, there we have different values like in two-wheelers, CO, carbon monoxide is 1000.
Yes,
In
yes, yes.
BS6, it is comes around, sorry, from BS4, it is 1403 to 1970. It reduced to 1000. On what
Mhm,
basis
yes.
we got those values, sir?
That values are measured with the gas analyzers, and we can utilize the gasoline direct injection or the TDI or etc. advanced technology to reduce that emission. Or some catalytic converter are there, like three-way catalytic converter to reduce that emission.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Anybody have any other question?
I have one question regarding commercial electrical vehicles. So, is it not good enough to electrifying commercial vehicle first rather than private vehicles? Because most of the time commercial vehicles are on the road and maximum emission for carbon is done by commercial vehicle itself. Is there any plan related to commercial vehicle and electrification? See, commercial vehicle require the tremendous energy compared with the car or any other two-wheeler. Okay, so it, because of the weight of battery, its weight is also increases. So still research are there in the commercial vehicle. Many companies have demonstrated that electric trucks.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes. Hello.
Hello.
Hello?
Yes, I
Yes, sir.
cannot
Hello.
hear you properly.
One second. I have one question regarding fast charging is better than 8 hour and 9 hour बैटरी लाइफ पे कोई भी इफेक्ट होगा डायरेक्टली
That's I don't know.
सॉरी
That's I don't know, sir. What is fast charging
फास्ट
is
चार्जिंग पॉसिबल है ना तो उससे अच्छा है नॉर्मल नॉर्मल चार्जिंग या फिर फास्ट चार्जिंग से लाइट इफेक्ट होगी बैटरी की
that's I
लॉन्ग
don't
टर्म
know.
में
That's I don't know, sir.
ओके थैंक यू सर
Anybody have any other question? Okay, so thank you very much, Saras sir, for giving your time to Vignan Gujri for arranging the good lecture about the concept of electric vehicle. In future also you will provide that kind of the help to us. I have the
Okay.
request for you.
Sure, sure, sure.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Giving me for this
Thank you,
opportunity.
sir. And thank you to all the participants for joining this lecture of concept of electric vehicle. If you have further any query, you WhatsApp also me. We will try to provide you the data about this.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
You have selected a good subject which is the need of today, considering the environment situation.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.